Hey, we're here at Copper Canyon subdivision doing concrete, doing some post-tension concrete slabs for some tract homes for Providence homes. I work for Alamo Concrete. My name is Chris, and we're just going to try and explain, as best possible, briefly, what a post-tension slab is and the benefits of it and some of the specifications of a post-tension slab. And so one of the first things you're going to notice behind me is all these cables, and that is your typical post-tension concrete slab. Post-tension meaning that later, typically about a week after the concrete is poured, they'll tighten these cables. And the way they do that is with a hydraulic jack, and on one end of the cable you'll have a pocket former like this, and the cable runs through your form on the live end, and this is your live end over here. You can see the cable actually running through the form, and then you'll have a dead end where you don't have the cable running all the way through, but at each anchor location you're going to have some reinforcement bar, which is called a hairpin, a number 3 piece of rebar bent in a U shape to give it a little more strength at those locations. So when you tighten the cable, you have a cone of structural strength here, because there's an incredible amount of tension that goes on this cable when you go to tighten it. I don't know the exact specifications, but it's a lot. The cable will stretch maybe 8 to 10 inches on these long runs, and after they do that, what the thinking behind all of this is that you have lateral inward pressure on the entire slab. You'll notice that these cables are about 3 feet apart, and every one of them is going to have some incredible pressure pulling inward on this slab. Something a little different about these slabs out here is that you have a footing, perimeter footing, which is typically about 3 feet deep. These are actually a little extra deep, but average depth is about 3 feet of perimeter footing, and the engineers deemed that was what needed to be done with this type of soil. And so you've got a lot of concrete just going in the ground before you're dealing with the actual slab. The rest of the slab is 10.5 inches thick, so quite a solid slab. And then on top of that you have the cables. So I don't know anything more that would be in the way of details, unless you wanted to maybe Google post-tension cables, and you'll see actually a little more detail to it. But that's the thought process behind a post-tension slab: is you eliminate the footing, the stem, and the 4-inch slab, and it's a big monolithic pour. It's one piece that can't really, it's not ever gonna heave. It may crack, but there'll
be small cracks.
Together. Yeah, and it won't
just
heave,
like
it won't
hairline.
separate, and it's a better product for a home, because you're not going to have doors and windows jamming later. But there's just a lot of benefits to it. A little more expensive in the outset, but a better product, and just a lot stronger foundation. So there you have it.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, we're here a week or so later doing the tensioning on the actual cables. And so Dennis has taken a couple still shots of the anchorage there at the live end of the cable. These are the wedges that go into the actual anchor. And so I'm going to put them in. And then you can see the teeth on there. You put them actually kind of in the socket. And you tap them in, kind of a little bit snug, to get them started. And here is the hydraulic. This is the hydraulic jack that grabs a hold of the cable, slips on like that. That actually is the teeth that grabs the cable. You kind of put that in snug. You come over here to the hydraulic pump, it has a meter on here, and we tighten that up to 5,300 psi, which is a certain amount of kips, and you can see there 33 kips equals 5.3 psi. That's we get the dial up to 5,300, and then when we get the dial up to that pressure, we reverse the jack, and those wedges are shoved in there and they clamp down on the cable, and then it should forever have tension on that cable. So that's the last procedure, and then we cut the cable and patch the hole. It's all done. There you have it.